Well, that was definitely a learning curve, but we survived our first trip with the baby on a plane. Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be talking about traveling with our baby for the first time and the things that I would and wouldn't do next time based on the experience that we had this first time around. The way there was very good. The way back, not so much. One thing that I thought was very helpful when we were flying was, so we flew United, and normally in the past we've flown American before we had the baby. I've had a couple of bad experiences with American, so I wanted to do either Delta or United this time. My husband's flown Delta, it ended up being cheaper for us to fly United, and I've heard good things about them, so we flew United. With United, even their economy tickets or economy seats, you can pick your seats, which is really nice. Granted, you're not always able to get the seats that you want, depending on when you book your tickets and what's left. But I booked our tickets far enough in advance where I was able to get us the seats that we wanted. And so on the way to Florida, we were on a big Boeing 777-200. And so it's the one where they have 3 seats on each side and then 2 aisles and then 4 seats in the middle. And what I ended up doing was I booked us the 2 end seats all the way in the back in the middle of the 4 seats. So we were right next to the bathroom all the way in the back. And also they have since this was a pretty big plane, they had a really big area in the back for all of the flight attendants and their carts and everything, as well as an exit door right next to us. But there's a lot of space. So being on the end aisle and right next to the bathroom, I could see if anyone was using the bathroom. So if I needed to change Liam, we could go do that. Or if we needed to go to the bathroom, we could see it was right there. Even though we were in the middle, we were by that exit door, but did have a window so I could see when we were, taking off and landing. I personally like having a little bit of a view when we're flying. It just helps ease my anxieties a little bit. So that was really nice having that end row over there right next to the exit. The other thing was having the aisle seat. We could get up and sit down whenever we wanted to. I didn't have to ask someone to move out of the way. And then being all the way in the back, if Liam got fussy, I didn't feel like I was as much of a bother because there was no one behind us. I could set Liam up. He's at the point where he's standing a little bit. He's 8 months right now. So he's standing, he's grabbing everything. I could let him stand in my lap, and if he were to look behind me, he wouldn't be bothering anyone behind me. There was a little bit of space between the back of my chair and the end of the plane. Well, it wasn't the end of the plane, but the wall behind me. And so if Liam was shaking the chair or anything behind me, it wasn't going to bother anyone behind us. So that was really nice. My husband and I did sit next to each other. Usually I would sit on the end and he would sit one seat in from me. And that was nice because I would nurse Liam quite a bit on the plane, and those seats are so tiny. So even when I was nursing Liam, my elbow was in my husband's space. If I would nurse him the other way where Liam's head was out by the aisle, his head would kind of be hanging off the end with my elbow. So if you're flying alone, this might be a little difficult. But I really appreciated that my husband was sitting right next to me because I could kind of get into his space a little bit more and not feel like I was bugging the person next to me. I mean, I'm sure I was bugging my husband to some degree, but he didn't care because, we're married and he knows that we have to take care of the baby. So that was really nice as well. Now on the way back from Florida to Denver, when I was booking the tickets, I couldn't get the back seat. Those were all taken already. So I actually ended up having to go kind of towards the middle of the plane. I did pay up so that we could get the aisle seat, just so we could, get up and get down whenever we wanted to. That was a lot harder being in the middle. Liam was very overtired at the end of the trip, and he was wanting to grab everything. He kept, I put the tray down in front of me. He was banging on it, so the person in front of me was feeling that. He kept wanting to stand and grab the top of the chair in front of me. I had to really try and hold him back, being in that kind of center portion of the plane. He nursed a lot more on the way back to Denver. And so I just felt like, well, for one, it was hard having a cover on. So really, I just kind of let the girls hang out. But I just felt it was just a lot less private. I felt like I was a little bit more judged for nursing him and everything. So I would definitely recommend, if you can, to get the back row, as far back as possible row, and then also get an aisle seat if you can. That was really helpful for us, especially on the way out to Florida. So touching on nursing, if you're not nursing, this won't be a big issue for you at all, but I am actively nursing, and I don't like pumping. I hate it with a passion. And so on both takeoff and landing, most times I was nursing Liam, and even in the middle of the plane ride, I would nurse him when he would get fussy, just to kind of keep him quiet. If you're the type of person that's a little bit more private about nursing, you're not going to want a complicated nursing cover. The seats are already small enough as it is, and if you're trying to get something over your head and then stick the baby under, it's just going to be so hard, and you're going to get really frustrated on the plane. I had a sweatshirt and a burp cloth in my lap, and so usually what I would do is I just had my husband kind of hold up the sweatshirt. Actually, that was only on the way back, because on the way there, like I said, we were in that back row. It was a little bit more private, so I just kind of stuck my boob out and let the baby latch on. On the way back, though, I would have my husband hold up a sweatshirt, and I would just kind of stick my boob out and then have the baby start eating. There were a couple times, though, it was just too complicated. I mean, people probably saw my boob, and that's fine, but you're definitely not going to want a complicated nursing cover. You know, I've seen that they make sweaters. I was watching another YouTube video, and this lady was talking about how she wore a sweater that kind of goes across, and then there's a magnet. So, you know, you latch your baby, and then you can just kind of move your sweater over like that. Something like that would probably be really helpful if you're traveling, but you're definitely not going to want something that goes overhead and, you know, you have your arms restricted and stuff like that. So one thing that was really helpful for us was bringing a new toy or two. Liam is at the stage where he gets really bored with things quickly. So I did buy two or three new toys for him to bring on the plane, just so it was something new and fresh, so he wouldn't get bored with it. He did end up getting kind of bored with things after a little while, but it was nice having something new. I absolutely love the Itsy Ritsy brand of toys. I'll add a picture of the toys that I bought for him, but they were so cute and wonderful. And so the little koala bear that I bought for him, it had the arms were crinkly, and then you had a couple different textures of fabric around it, and then it also had like this little leaf at the bottom that was actually like a silicone teether portion. And so Liam's at the stage where I'm pretty sure he's gonna be popping a tooth here soon. At least that's what it seems like. So when he would get kind of fussy, sometimes I'd just kind of rub that along his gums, and then he'd start chewing on it, and that was really nice. The other Itsy Ritsy toy that I bought had a rattle in it, so you know, if you shake it, it rattled, and then that was also silicone for teething, so that was really nice too. He could kind of chew on that, whatever. The other thing I bought for him was I don't remember the brand of it, but it was a book with like fabric, and it kind of, you know, every page had something different, a different color, a different fabric that the baby could touch and move. And he actually stayed the most content with that book that we got him. Other than that, though, he really liked playing with like the cups that they gave us for drinks. When we finished eating our pretzels, he just wanted to play with the wrapper. So when they come by to pick up trash, maybe hang on to those things for your baby, because Liam found those to be super entertaining. The one thing I wouldn't do, though, is to bring too much. My husband and I didn't want to check a bunch of bags. We ended up checking one bag, mainly because we carry our pistols with us, and you obviously can't bring those on the plane with you, so you have to check them. So we did bring one big checked bag. But then we each had one carry-on suitcase, and I had the diaper bag, and he had a backpack. So what we were bringing on the plane was the stroller, the car seat, which we checked at the gate, and then we each had, a thing of luggage, and then we each had a backpack. And then I had the baby, of course, too. It was really complicated, especially, bringing all of our stuff down the gate, then trying to get our strollers and stuff ready to set down and leave at the gate, and then bringing all of that on the plane, and then feeling rushed to kind of get everything in place along with the baby too. When we got into our seats, we brought so much stuff in our backpacks, and we didn't overfill them, but we did bring a lot of stuff with us in the backpacks. It was just so hard to shove it under the seat in front of us. During the flight, it was hard to grab things because we had our backpacks so overfull. I would just recommend, especially if you're traveling with a baby, just bring on the plane what you need. I probably would pay to check an extra bag down the road because it was just so much easier to not have to carry that stuff with the baby. They did even offer to check a couple things for us for free, and I get nervous with checking stuff because once or twice I've had stuff not get lost, but it like took a day to get our luggage back. Usually that's only a problem when you're taking like connecting flights and stuff, but I just wanted to have stuff with me in case something got lost. But honestly, traveling with a baby, it's just the less you can bring, the easier your life will be. One thing that we did that I would definitely do differently next time was I wouldn't bring so many diapers with me next time. I brought diapers in our checked bag, and I brought enough for the full trip. But it's so clunky and it just takes up so much space. And we usually stop at like a Walgreens or a grocery store to get food when we get to our destinations. So I would probably just buy diapers at our destination next time because it'd be a lot less of a hassle and it wouldn't take up as much space in our luggage. So touching on strollers and car seats. So most airlines will let you check both a stroller and a car seat for free. And a lot of them also let you bring a diaper bag on in addition to your one carry-on and personal item. Now with the strollers and the car seats, I'm really glad that we brought what we did. The stroller and car seat were great, especially when we got to Florida. I don't always like having Liam on the strap baby carrier. It was hot, so I didn't want to always have him in the carrier. It was nice to have a stroller, and then I had some storage as we were walking around different places. It was really nice in the airport to have the stroller so I could set things in there and just push him around instead of getting all hot and sweaty with him strapped to my chest. But the one thing I will say is it was very complicated when we got to the gate check to get all the way down the gate and then try and fold up the stroller and get everything ready last minute. The reason I brought the car seat with the stroller through the airport is because our stroller and car seat are a combo. So the car seat locks into the stroller and it's really nice. So when we got to the airport, I would just have to take Liam from the car and, plop him in the stroller. But I think in the future, I would check the car seat at the front at check-in, so I didn't have to take that through security. The stroller, I think in the future I'm still probably going to bring the same stroller, but it might be easier if you are comfortable with an umbrella stroller. An umbrella stroller would be so much easier to bring through the airport. You wouldn't probably get as much storage, but I think when Liam gets a little bit older and maybe he can walk, I think I might start bringing an umbrella stroller because we had a jogger stroller, and I'll actually link the jogging stroller that we had because I love that thing. It was just very clunky in the airport. The jogging stroller was really nice, but it just got kind of clunky. And the other thing was I would highly recommend getting a stroller and car seat bag. We bought those ahead of time, and so when you get to the gate, you just throw the stroller and the car seat into the bags because sometimes the people that are handling stuff at the gate, they just kind of throw it around. And I've heard of people losing pieces of their stroller because something breaks off. When we got our stroller back the first time, there was like a huge black streak on the bag. I don't know what it, how that got there, but, that would have been our stroller if we didn't have it in the bag. So would highly recommend that. And that way too, if something does break off or certain strollers have different buttons and stuff, if something does fall off the stroller and you have it contained in a bag, then you won't lose those parts. Maybe you can put it back together if something does accidentally get damaged. But yeah, and bringing the stroller through security, the other thing with an umbrella stroller that's nice is it's easier to fold down. Our jogging stroller was actually too big to put through the typical bag check in security. And so what we had to do was I had to push it through the metal detector, and then someone had to manually go touch and feel all around the stroller. And so it just took a little bit longer bringing that big clunky stroller. But it was nice to have. So I guess I'm kind of on the fence. I think when Liam gets a little bit older, I'm probably going to bring an umbrella stroller. But it was nice having for now. Like I said, I brought our stroller and car seat, but I did also bring our baby sling / carrier. So when you get to the gate, you're gonna have to gate check your stroller and car seat. If it's small enough, they might let you bring it on the plane and put it in the overhead bins, but it was a lot easier when I had Liam strapped to me. I had both hands that I could use to hold on to his diaper bag and then the carry-on bag that I was bringing. And then also going through security, you don't have to have a baby carrier, but they'll have you hold your baby and go through the metal detector. So having Liam in that baby carrier made it a lot easier to grab my shoes, grab my bag, put everything together when I was done walking through security. I know I said to try and limit what you bring on the plane with you, but one thing that is essential to bring, especially if your baby's at this stage or is old enough, is to bring snacks. Especially when they bring the drinks and the snacks on the plane, the complimentary drinks and snacks. My child was trying to grab everything, and I got him a couple crackers out, and then that kept him content for 15 to 20 minutes while he was eating those. TSA does let you bring formula, bottles, snacks for your children, stuff like that. So if you just go to the TSA website, it'll show you what is allowed to be brought on the plane. But most places you can bring stuff for your baby to both eat and drink while you're on the plane. Okay, another thing I would definitely do next time that we did this time was bring a neck pillow. Neck pillows are small enough. I've heard of some people bringing their boppy pillows on the plane, and I probably wouldn't do that, but a neck pillow is nice because if you're nursing, you can kind of prop the pillow under your elbow for a little bit extra support. And then if your baby does fall asleep, you can put the neck pillow around your neck and then try and get some shut-eye yourself. But I actually used our neck pillow quite a bit when we were on the plane, so I would recommend bringing one if you have one. And then the last thing I want to touch on that was really helpful for us was utilizing family boarding. United offered families with children under the age of for the age of 2 and under, they could board towards the beginning of the groups. What that did was just allow us a little bit of extra time to get our stuff in the overhead bins, get our bags under the seats, and then get both of us settled in. So I would definitely utilize that if your airline offers family boarding. It just made things go a little bit smoother for us. If you've traveled with a baby, I'd love to hear your take on this, what things you found helpful or not helpful when you were flying with the baby. Drop a comment below, and if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. I talk about a lot of baby stuff, as well as life as a stay-at-home mom, life in the Black Hills of South Dakota, and my journey as a realtor and a mom at the same time. So go ahead and follow if you haven't already, and we will see you next time. Can you say bye? Ready?